In the winter of 1959, in the heart of the Ural Mountains, something went terribly wrong. 10 experienced hikers, mostly students from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, set out on a challenging trek to a mountain named Otorten. One hiker, Yuri Yudin, turned back early due to illness, a decision that would ultimately save his life. The remaining 9, led by Igor Dyatlov, pressed on never to be seen alive again. This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident, a mystery that has baffled investigators and intrigued the world for over 60 years. The group was supposed to send a telegram on February 12th upon their return to a nearby town. When days passed with no word, a search party was assembled. What they found on a desolate, windswept slope of a mountain ominously named Kalatsyakal, or Dead Mountain in the local Mansi language, was a scene of utter chaos and confusion. Their tent, discovered on February 26th, was bizarrely cut open from the inside. All their belongings, including warm clothing and shoes, were left behind. It was as if something had terrified them so much that they fled into the brutal sub-zero wilderness in a state of panic. The first 2 bodies were found about a mile away, downhill from the tent, near the remnants of a small fire under a large cedar tree. Despite the freezing temperatures, it appeared they had desperately tried to climb the tree, perhaps to get a better view or escape a threat. Their hands were scraped raw. 3 more bodies, including that of group leader Igor Dyatlov, were found between the cedar tree and the tent, positioned as if they were trying to crawl back to the shelter they had so hastily abandoned. The initial autopsies for these first 5 hikers found they had died of hypothermia. While strange, it wasn't entirely unbelievable given the circumstances. But the real mystery deepened 2 months later when the remaining 4 hikers were finally discovered. Buried under more than 10 feet of snow in a ravine, their injuries were horrific and inexplicable. One had a severely fractured skull. 2 others had massive chest fractures, injuries so severe they were compared to the force of a high-speed car crash. Most chillingly, one of them was missing her tongue. Yet, strangely, there were no external signs of a struggle on their bodies. What could have possibly caused such devastating internal injuries without leaving a mark on their skin? The official investigation in 1959 was swift and inconclusive. The final report stated that the hikers had died as a result of a compelling natural force. The case was then abruptly closed and the files were classified, leading to decades of speculation and a flood of theories. Was it an avalanche? This is a popular and seemingly logical explanation. An avalanche could have forced them to cut their way out of the tent and flee. It could also explain the massive internal injuries. However, experienced mountaineers have pointed out several problems with this theory. The location of the tent was not in a typical avalanche path, and the search party found no evidence of a recent snowslide. Furthermore, footprints leading away from the tent were clearly visible, which an avalanche would have likely obliterated. So if not an avalanche, what else could it be? The theories range from the plausible to the outright bizarre. One popular theory involves a secret Soviet weapons test. The area was known to be a site for military activity. Could the hikers have accidentally stumbled upon a test, witnessed something they shouldn't have, and been silenced? Some reports from other hikers in the region around the same time mention seeing strange orange spheres or lights in the sky, fueling speculation about rockets or other experimental aircraft. The radioactive traces found on some of the hikers' clothing added more weight to this theory, although the levels were low and could have had a natural origin. Then there are the more fringe theories. Could they have been attacked by the local Mansi people for trespassing on sacred land? This was an early line of inquiry, but it was quickly dismissed. The Mansi were known to be peaceful, and the nature of the injuries didn't align with a human attack. What about an animal, like a bear? Again, unlikely. There were no animal tracks found near the scene, and the injuries weren't consistent with an animal attack. And of course, in a mystery this strange, you'll always hear whispers of something paranormal or even extraterrestrial. The strange lights in the sky, the overwhelming terror that drove them from the tent, and the inexplicable injuries have led some to believe the cause was something not of this world. One of the more recent and scientifically grounded theories is infrasound. This theory proposes that a rare weather phenomenon called a Kármán vortex street could have generated extremely low-frequency sound waves. Infrasound is inaudible to humans, but at certain frequencies, it can induce feelings of intense panic, dread, and nausea. This could explain why the hikers fled their tent in such a terrified state. The physical effects of infrasound are less understood, but some speculate it could have contributed to their disorientation and ultimately their demise from the elements. This theory ties the compelling natural force from the official report to a specific, albeit rare, natural event. In 2019, over 60 years after the incident, Russian authorities reopened the case. After reviewing the evidence, they concluded that the most likely cause was indeed an avalanche, specifically a slab avalanche, which is a delayed slide of a large block of snow. They suggested that a slab of snow had slid down and crushed part of the tent, causing the initial panic and some of the injuries. The group then fled downhill, became disoriented in the dark and the blizzard, and succumbed to the cold. The severe injuries of the last 4 hikers were explained by them falling into the ravine and being crushed by the weight of the snow. But for many, this explanation still leaves too many questions unanswered. Why were their belongings so neatly arranged if the tent was crushed? Why cut the tent from the inside if a zipper was available? And what about the missing tongue? The Russian report dismissed this, suggesting it was due to natural decomposition in a watery environment. But that doesn't sit right with many who have followed the case. The mystery, it seems, is far from solved. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains a chilling and captivating puzzle. It's a story of survival against impossible odds that ultimately ended in tragedy. 9 young, vibrant people went into the mountains for an adventure and met a fate that we still can't fully comprehend. The combination of strange evidence, a closed investigation, and a host of conflicting theories has created a modern legend. Was it a freak weather event, a military cover-up, or something else entirely? Perhaps the truth is buried forever under the snows of Dead Mountain, a silent testament to that terrifying night. We may never know for sure what happened to the Dyatlov group, and that is perhaps the most haunting part of the story. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by unsolved mysteries like this one, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the unknown. Let me know in the comments what you think happened on that fateful night. See you next time.